Okay, join me today to talk all things health, wellness and success. Yes, that's right, success. Is a man that's very well adapted to what it takes to be successful. Is Glenn Azar. How are you, mate?
Good, mate. Yourself?
Great, mate. Tell us a little about yourself.
So I spent 17 years in the Army. I started as an infantry soldier, but I specialised in aviation medicine, so helicopter evacuations, and that kind of led me into an adventure business that we work in now, and through that process just helping people with personal and professional development by getting them out of their comfort zone, basically.
So what's your definition of success?
To me, it's anything that makes people happy. So, you know, it might be money. For me, it's not really, that's not a driver for me, but happy, healthy, spending time with my family. To me, you know, if you feel fulfilled, which a lot of people don't in Western society, that's success.
And why aren't people successful these days, do you think?
Well, I think Western society has got us trapped in this idea that we have to have things. And eventually you get to an age where you realise stuff isn't as important as the people that you spend your time with, and often by that time you've probably lost that a little bit. That's
a great analogy, isn't it? We're searching for things and happiness, whereas happiness is inside us. So.
Yeah, that's right. If you can't work out how to be happy where you are right now, you're not going to be happy wherever you end up either. So that thing you're chasing, as we all know as we get older, it doesn't actually make you happy.
So what's the key to happiness then, I suppose?
To me, it's understanding the importance of connection and people. I think it's got to be about the people that you spend your time with, and those little moments when you realise they're actually big moments, and then having the health and fitness to be able to do that, kick a footy with the kids or go and climb a mountain or whatever that might be for you.
A lot of people overlook the importance of health, don't they? You just touched upon it then, but you know, real success is being healthy.
Yeah, it's got to be one of the pillars. I think, you know, when people, you know, I know in my parents' day, 40 was old. I don't think it is anymore. I'm a registered nurse by trade as well, and I remember going to old people's homes where people are 60 sitting around waiting to die. And I've taken 80-year-olds across the Kokoda Trail, so, you know, I know where I'd rather be.
And you've climbed Kokoda 75 times, is that right?
73 at this stage. I've got 2 more coming up as we speak that I'll do back to back, And
how tough is that?
Very, depending on, like an average fitness level could do it. I've taken single and double leg amputees because I run a veterans program. I've taken an 8-year-old, I've taken an 80-year-old, but I've had 30-year-old relatively fit guys and girls struggle. So that's got to be mindset, right?
So one big learning I've already got from yourself is I think having a goal is very important to being successful.
Yeah, absolutely. I think if you don't know what it is that you're aiming at, then how do you ever know when you get there? I've got a really good mate that used to say, I'm not happy with where I'm at right now. And I said, well, where do you want to be? And he said, I don't know. Well, you have no other options.
And is that where the adventure business ties into it as well? It gives people a goal to focus on, a physical goal as well?
Yeah, absolutely. Like there's an end date. So if I'm doing Kokoda and it's in 3 months, I've got to train for that. But it can be anything. It can be a 5K fun run. It can be a Tough Mudder or one of those sort of events. And slowly, when you finish one thing, have something else to aim for without being unfulfilled, but look for the next thing, then you've got a reason to train.
So we all spend a lot of time working our muscles, but probably the most important muscle we've got is our brain. How do we train that to be successful?
To me, in this day and age, it's never been easier. You know, read books, listen to audiobooks, listen to podcasts. You know, there's things on YouTube. There is so much good information that you can be pouring in, and that's all you need. If you're watching just all this bad information all the time, or you're hanging around people with kind of crappy attitudes, then that's who you're going to be. So I think just put as much good information in as you can.
Well, a lot of people struggle to get fit. You know, there's a lot of blokes sitting out there on the lounge, or ladies struggling to get motivated to get moving. What's your advice to them?
My biggest advice is just move more. I think a lot of people attribute exercise to just being busted by a personal trainer who's got the ripped six-pack, who's just drop and give me 20 until you vomit. It doesn't have to be like that. It can be as simple as initially going for a walk. We all know, move a little bit more, eat a little bit better without being extreme, and still enjoy your lifestyle. It's not about giving everything up.
And diet-wise, you got any philosophies around your diet that you abide by yourself? Or?
For me personally, I only eat when I feel hungry. So these days I don't even eat 3 meals a day necessarily, unless I'm hungry for 3 meals a day. I think we've got into this habit of just eating quick, fast meals, eating for social. You know, we sit down and we have a meal together, we have a beer, which is okay occasionally, but if that's a big habit of yours, I just eat when I'm hungry.
So if I'm watching this video now, reading the article, what's your advice if I want to do the Kokoda Trail? How do I get started?
I think the first thing to do is understand what it is you want to achieve and how far away you are from that goal. For me personally, we set people a 12-week training program. They train 3 days a week as a minimum, and then just slowly increase resistance, weights, and all of that sort of stuff. There's plenty of information out there. We have a free fitness program we send out to anyone that wants it.
And how do they access that?
They can just go out onto our website, which is adventureprofessionals.com.au, and if they just type in free trekking fitness, it'll bring it up.
That's great.
It's very involved, written by a sports scientist. You could give it to any personal trainer or read it yourself, and if they know what they're doing, you're going to get good value out of it.
And mate, you've obviously ticked the boxes of being a great father. Tell us a little bit about your daughter too. Amazing. She's climbed Mount Everest twice.
Yeah, so I started with her when she was 6 years old. She kept harassing me, wanted to climb. I wanted to do the Kokoda Trail, and I kept saying no. And then when she was 8 years old, I took her. So she was the youngest person ever to do that at that stage. And little did I know, and back to the importance of having goals, where that would end up. Over the years, she's climbed the highest mountains in Russia, South America. She's climbed Mount Everest twice.
Wow.
She was the youngest Australian to climb Mount Everest when she was 19. She climbed again when she was 21 from the north side, so she's the youngest woman ever to do that. She'll probably climb it again. It's what she does, but she just climbed all around the world, and I had no idea how out of control that would get.
Yeah.
But that's the importance of having a goal, right?
Well, mate, you've done such a great job raising your daughter. Tell us your tips on how to be a better parent.
So for me, and I don't think any of us have this ironed out, but the two main things for me is let them have goals.
Yep.
So when she first came to me and said she wanted to do Kokoda, I didn't say, you're too small, you're not going to be able to do that. I just said, okay, how do we do it? When she wanted to climb Mount Everest, she was 14 when she made that decision. I know nothing about climbing Mount Everest. And I just said, all right, what do we have to do? And
Wow.
lay it out. But the second thing is I never did anything for her. Like, if you've got the goal and I can help you with the roadmap, you've got to do the work. And I think too many parents try and clear the way for little Sally and little Johnny to have that clear run. And we both know that you don't get elite at anything. You don't really succeed at anything if someone's doing the work for you.
Yeah, right. And these days, a lot of people struggle with mental health. You got any advice around that?
I do a lot of work in the PTSD space as a former veteran. The biggest thing I've found in working with the guys and girls, coming back from Afghan and so on, is they've got to, again, I guess it's kind of goals. They've got to have a reason to get out of bed. They've got to have a reason to get out of the house. The more time they spend stuck inside the house, the worse their mental health gets. So get around positive people. Who you surround yourself with ultimately will be a big determinant in how you handle that sort of stuff. When they have a goal, when they're around positive-minded people, they just seem to lift their spirits and perform better.
Yeah, and moving and diet plays a big role in your mental health as well.
Well, there's pillars to everything. Health and fitness is all about your mindset. It's about your health and fitness as far as not being an athlete necessarily, but just going out and moving your body more, and again, surrounding yourself with good people and putting good energy in most of the time.
Yeah.
Still go out and have your beer and have your fun with the boys, but if that's 5 nights a week, then you might have a problem.
And mate, your own personal lifestyle, still very fit and very active. What do you do on a daily basis to keep fit?
Well, I don't think I'm particularly addicted to the gym or anything like that, but I'll train every day of the week.
Yep.
But if I miss a session, I don't beat myself up.
Yep.
I'm closer to 50 than I am to 40. I feel as good as I've ever felt in my life, and I'm just moving fairly regularly.
Movement's the key.
Yeah, movement. I'm not busting myself. I'm not trying to be a 20-year-old. I'm not throwing down a million burpees and trying to vomit. I just get out and move, and I enjoy exercise. I've learned to enjoy the process.
And a day on a plate for you, how would you normally eat? You were saying before you don't eat unless you're hungry, so a big change when you were obviously younger, trying to build muscle, overfeeding, overeating.
I was big on all that eating and the protein shakes and all that sort of stuff. These days I'll kind of eat, depending what time I get up. I'm not a massive sleeper, but I'll eat sort of first thing in the morning and then I'll eat sort of late afternoon. So kind of, 2 meals in a 24-hour period. If I feel hungry, I'll eat something else. And I don't cut anything out. I don't cut out fats and chocolates and sugars, and I just don't eat excesses of those things.
Yeah.
We know generally what looks good on our plate and healthy and what doesn't. I don't do the junk food thing very often, but it's a treat every now and then.
So you reckon that's a big mistake I see a lot of people make, is trying to eliminate foods rather than focusing on just eating well?
When people used to come into the gym we used to own years ago, I'd say, don't give up smoking, don't give up coffee, don't give up alcohol, all in this first week, because what happens, you give up everything and then 6 weeks later your body just shuts down because it doesn't know what's going on. So I say add one thing in, add the exercise in, take one thing out, and then just keep working on that process over the next 6 weeks and make changes. You cut something out totally and we all know you start to crave it.
Yeah. And small wins are important as well. You set too big a goal, it's too far away, you won't stay motivated.
Yeah, and that's the same for fitness, it's the same for health. If you fall off the bike today, get back on it, rather than saying, well, I've kind of blown out this week, I'll start again next Monday. And we've all been caught on that train at some point. Just get back up when you have a little, fall off, and then also, celebrate those little wins. Just say, I've actually had a pretty good week. I've set a small goal. I'm going to train twice this week. All right, you hit 2 in the first 2 days, great. You've got the rest of the week to hit a third one.
Mate, excellent advice.
Awesome, thanks,
mate. Thank you so much.